my explanation, my definition of synchronicity is the universe's ability to bring things together at the right place at the right time. Now, those things can be, in most cases, an observer, in the majority of cases, an observer, a conscious observer, and they can be symbols, they can be songs, they can be another person. But it's the interesting idea that this ties in with the idea that everything is connected, and also the idea that things exist beyond the present moment. So it's the idea that things can cross paths in this sort of a gravitational fashion where they just seem to pull towards each other. And my sort of explanation of it is because they were never separate to begin with. They are already connected in the future, and then the present moment is just sort of catching up with them, and the universe is sort of working from beyond our own. It's the idea that there's us, and then there's like the bigger us, which is the consciousness that is communicating back to us through the language of symbols. That is a simple way that I would explain synchronicity. So I mean, common things like 11:11, seeing 11:11 intuitively. You know, when you're just like sitting there working, haven't looked at the clock for 45 minutes, you turn around, oh, it's 11:11. But more so than that, doing it repeatedly. We'll talk about that. What does it mean when we start seeing 11:11? What are some ways that we can interpret that? I have my own interpretations of that. So I mean, yeah. Synchronicity, from my own experience, is this magical element that brings things together in this reality that is working 100% of the time. And that's the idea that synchronicity is a day-to-day occurrence if we are conscious enough to be able to recognize it and to be able to also like consciously engage with it as well. I'll just pass it over to Sunday if she wants to add in on this.
Well, I do agree that it's kind of like reminders from the universe. However, I don't think it's external as you may make it sound in what you just said, because I think everyone kind of has the idea that we are the universe in a way, like our individual selves. And in that way, I think it's something that we send to ourselves and we create ourselves. And what you and I talked about earlier, Skull, was the idea of like programming your synchronicities. And can I talk about 9/6?
We could go into that now. I have a bit of a response to what you just said about what I said.
Well, I think it is
ahead.
Something that we kind of create for ourselves, and and it's like it's such a personal feeling even. So when it happens to me, it's almost like I feel successful. I feel like I am on the right track. And it often comes about in such a way that synchronicities usually happen by my own action, but it's action that completely lacks decision making. So it's not like I'm standing on a street corner contemplating which way I should go and I happen to choose the right one. It's more like I go a certain way intuitively, and there's like a lack of even thinking about it that's there. And that is, I think, kind of tapping into something that a lot of the time we aren't able to. At least me personally, I have some trouble like overthinking a lot of the time. So synchronicities are kind of, they do feel like a reminder of things going good.
I agree. I think that's a really cool thing when like you said, we can program our reality. And whoa, okay, that's interesting. Just kind of had deja vu actually as I'm sitting here having this conversation, which is a synchronicity in itself. That's so trippy. Oh my God, this is getting so meta. I'm like having a synchronicity of a deja vu about talking about synchronicity and deja vus. That's my life for you. But anyways, life is very meta and very holographic, as we've all experienced in different ways. What Sunday was saying, she was sort of saying that I said it was something more external. I said it is the part of us that is bigger than us. I didn't imply that to mean external, because I think you're right. You're exactly right in this idea that everything is a reflection of us. Everything is interconnected. So like when we have a thought of, like just like, oh, like I really want to go out there and I want to start like meeting people. The universe will be able to hear that thought, and then that will be part of the cause. Like, you know, this is sort of in theme with the whole law of attraction. As you think, so shall you become. It's not separate from it at all. And that is like the cause that the universe hears. It sends out that signal. Like the universe is listening, and then the universe sends it back to you. Now, like that is where it becomes an interesting thing, because the universe may put you right next to a person on the same bus who may be that person who you're supposed to talk to, but then the whole thing that makes synchronicity interesting is our free will. Our free will to sort of either unconsciously miss when a synchronicity is right in front of us, or to just sort of like make the most of it, to be able to like utilize it and to be able to be aware that these things are occurring. And that's where, for my own experience, doing things like free hugs and doing the things with the shift buttons and building a paradigm shift community, those whole things, all those actions that I did were motivated by my understanding that synchronicity was an inevitable fact of reality. Meaning that, like, if I put out the intention and I kept myself open and, like Sunday was saying, following my intuition, I knew that I would find what I was looking for in various different ways. There's a lot of different interesting things we can talk about this. Let's maybe just hit on a couple more points, and then we'll bring on a caller, and I know we can just continue.